What's up, everybody? Ron Harris here. Thanks for joining me on the Ron Harris Muscle channel. If you're not a member already, please subscribe, like, share, ring that bell, do all that good stuff. Helps me out. Doesn't cost anything. Today, we're here to talk about Quinton Eriya, a.k.a. Quint Beastwood, going into the Toronto Super Show, Toronto Pro, most people call it, on Sunday up there in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And I got a little flack for doing a preview of the show with Giles and not having him in the thumbnail. I had three other guys in the thumbnail as a possible top three. Akim Williams, who's been second place there before. Hassan Mostafa, been second place there before. Got some pro wins under his belt, both of those guys. And John Jewett. John, former 212, turning into a very, very good open bodybuilder before our eyes. So the question becomes, Quinton Eriya, can he come in fuller than he did in New York a couple weeks ago? Because this is a guy with all the potential in the world, beautiful shape, structure. He's tall. Let's take a look at Quinton from New York. This was a New York Pro where he took sixth place. And this was his first collaboration with Matt Jansen as a coach. First and last, at least so far. He let it be known shortly after, I think it was on Monday, that they would not be working together and he would be preparing himself for Toronto. Like you see, man, he has a spectacular physique. Condition was bang on point. Beautiful shape, flaring lats, peaked biceps, sweeping quads. He does need some more back development. It's a little lacking in the hamstrings. Quads are tremendous. Calves are, look at those calves. Ridiculous calves. Like I said, condition, yeah, maybe could have been a touch sharp or a touch. He's very, very close there. He's in great condition. The back doesn't look too bad in the rear double. It's that rear lat spread where it flattens out a little bit. Now, he doesn't have a weak back. He just needs a better back. Look at that frontal bicep. Beautiful shape on this guy. Just needs more size overall. Like I said, he's been second place at this show. He was second place here in 2021 to Joel Thomas. I was at that show. Very impressive. And the only reason he's not winning shows right now, I feel, is he just needs more size, more fullness. He's got long limbs. This is a guy who's, I believe, 6'1". He's definitely at least 6 foot, maybe 6'1". It's hard for me to tell from all the way down here where I am. But goodness gracious, the shape, everything is there. Just came in flat. And, you know, by himself, he doesn't look bad at all. He doesn't look bad, period. But I'm saying when he was standing next to guys like Nick Walker, Martin, Beef Stew, these guys are just thicker. Sure, they're also shorter, but they're thicker, and that played a part. So the controversy, if you want to call it a controversy, came. This was a post he made 3 days after the show, after New York Pro, where he had filled out, and he's 17 pounds heavier on the right. So that was 4 days out versus 3 days after. So these photos are a week apart. Yeah, I guess they would have been taken on a Tuesday, right? Tuesday before the show, Tuesday after the show. 17-pound difference. He does look much, much better, much, much fuller. The thing is, I'm wondering, did he lose a lot of size during prep, or was the size never really there in the first place that we wanted? So here's another great comparison. This is both 5 days out. These are 5 days out from New York Pro on the left versus 5 days out from Toronto Pro on the right. Not as dramatic a difference, 10 pounds, but this time he shows us all the poses. Just in this one here, in the frontal bicep, you could see the tremendous, look at the difference even in the arms. Chest is so much fuller. Little different lighting situation, but you can still get a good grasp on it. Legs, I don't think his legs flattened out too much in the first place in New York. It's mainly the upper body. That front lat, look at that. You could see how much fuller, rounder the delts. Chest is so much fuller. He was very flat there on the left. Now, is this Matt's fault? Did Matt bring him in? Did he over diet him? I don't know. You know, that's possible. Matt Jansen he's one of the elite coaches in the sport. He's been Nick Walker's coach from day one. He's taken Nick Walker from an amateur to winning the Arnold Classic, taking third at the Olympia, fifth at the Olympia another time, second place at the Arnold another time. Sean Clarita took him to another 212 Olympia victory a few months back. So there's definitely no questioning Matt's skills as a coach. However, any coach is going to need a little time to really learn their client's body and figure it out. How much can I feed this guy? How much do I need to fill him out, dry him out, fill him up, dry him out? Again, so these are 5 days out from New York versus 5 days out of Toronto Pro. He looks like a different person. If you told me this was 20 pounds, I'd probably believe you. 10 pounds fullness makes a tremendous difference. Look at how much more everything is just popping and full. I said the lower body doesn't seem to suffer when he's flat nearly as much as his upper body. And you see the muscle separation so much better just because the muscles are pushing out against the skin. You do see a difference in the back there too. The back looks noticeably thicker and fuller. And it's not like he was able to gain muscle, any real muscle mass in between. This is just fullness, glycogen in the muscles. So very, very impressive. Take a look at just a couple more, and then we'll get to some of your comments, questions, if you have any. So this was another prep shot from about a week ago, it looks like. Yeah. So this was a week ago when he was a week and 2 or 3 days out from the show. No real loss in condition from the back, as you might expect when someone's going to be coming in much fuller. I don't know what that is. But back does seem to be the area he needs to fill in the most. Like I said, his calves are awesome. Great quads. Hams could use a little bit more hamstring development. Back thickness, maybe even a little bit more width because these shoulders. Look at the crazy delts this guy has. Yeah, he's not missing anything really except for some back thickness and maybe a little bit more back width. So this was New York. I said this is a nice version condition-wise, but he looks noticeably smaller than he did in a lot of those prep shots. He definitely did not show the same muscle fullness, density, thickness that we saw. Yeah, you see the back there sort of gone away. But what a beautiful physique. Such aesthetics. Amazing aesthetics on this guy. So let's see. Comments? Oh, no comments yet, guys. Oh, boy. Okay. I guess I'll keep going with that. Let's take a look at some of the other guys going in because this is not a one-man show. We got some excellent talent going in here. Let's take a look at Akim. Akim Williams is another favorite to win. See if he's got anything in his stories. Nope. He's one of those guys where his face never gets really too sucked in. This was a few days ago. Yeah, this actually looks a little flat to me for Akim. He's filling out probably. Some more prep shots. This is from a couple weeks ago. He had the rock tape up there across the shoulders. He had shoulder surgery last year after the Arnold Classic, was out of commission for the rest of the season. And he's been back. He did made a great showing at the Arnold Classic a couple months back in the Arnold UK. Scraped his way up to the top 5. One of the best side chests in the game. He's just so thick and dense in the chest and the quads. The hams got that grainy, deep separation between the muscle groups. Yeah, his side chest is one of the best in the business. This is a commercial for Muscle Meds, but looks like some great Gilco footage in the background there. He's protecting his liver. That's good to see. Front double has always been a very, very strong shot for Akim. You can see he's got these amazing arms. Nice peak to the biceps. Full sweep to the tris, round outer pop to those lats. And he does have a narrow waist for a guy who's about 260 to 270 on stage typically, keeping a very, very small, tight midsection. There's a nice comparison, 2010 to 2024. Akim back in his, I think that was his first show back in 2010. Did a local show. Yeah. Any questions yet, guys? Oh, okay. So let's go, Kieran. I'm saying no, Quinton needs more muscle maturity. That's great shape. That's not enough in my opinion. Yeah, it's maturity, but I think he's got really good muscle separation. The shape is unparalleled. He's got awesome shape. He just needs to fill out. He's got very long limbs, kind of like Andrew Jack. Andrew's bigger than him, but Andrew, I'm sure it faces a lot of the same challenges. If it's harder to fill out a tall frame with long arms and legs, that's why shorter guys tend to look big faster. Whereas Quinton's been a pro now since 2018, I believe he turned pro as a natural. No, I think he turned pro in 2017 because I saw him, I believe, in 2018 at the Toronto Pro making his debut. And he was on the cusp. He was like 6 or 8 pounds away from the classic physique weight limit for his height, which means for an open bodybuilder, he was very light for his height. Small. He does have small joints and bones, but still the mass wasn't there. He still took 5th place, which goes to show you it was on his shape and structure carry a lot of weight, and he does have quality muscle. He's a young guy. Gee, Nanda says he's overrated so much, can't be a Samson Dauda, to be honest. Well, let's see. Let's look at Samson a few years ago. Samson wasn't Samson. He wasn't always the Samson that we know. So I had him up earlier today. Come on, Samson, where are you? William Bonac, where's mine? I know I had it there. Here, let's go find it again. Because I want to show you guys, Samson just a few years ago was nothing like the Samson we know today. He has put on 60, 70 pounds of muscle in the past like 10 years or less. Yeah. I like his dog. Look at that. That's a Cane Corso. Beautiful, massive beast of a dog. I'm sure it's a gentle giant, but you wouldn't want to mess with it. So these are all current Samson. He does post some old throwbacks up once in a while. That's what I want to see. There he is with Sam Sulek. Driving his McLaren all over the place. Okay, so that's 2009. Look at Samson in 2009. I know we're talking 15 years ago, but he was a rugby player, certainly, muscular in an athletic way. You could see the legs there. You could see he already had some decent mass to the quads and the calves there. Early shows, looks like he was bottom heavy, all legs. You could see the structure. So this is 10 years ago. Structure and shape were there. Anybody who knows structure and muscle bellies and things like that, they could have seen the long-term potential. But I don't think too many people would have looked at this guy 9-10 years ago and said, this is going to be an Arnold Classic champ. This is going to be top 3 Olympia, possible future Mr. Olympia. I like these progressions because it goes to show you, even with things like gear, it does take time. Nobody turns into so look at him. This is 2017, not that long ago, and he's so much bigger now. 2018, he's getting there slowly but surely. 2018, I believe this is when he started working with Milos. No, that can't be right because he started working with Milos after John Meadows passed away. So was that 2021? I believe we lost John. 2019, you could see he's getting much bigger now. You're starting to see glimpses of the greatness to come. He's getting closer and closer. By 2020, you could see he's almost there. He just needs to fill out a little bit more. This is 4 years ago. 2021, 3 years ago. Yeah. So I believe by now he's working with Milos in these pictures. Yeah, by the fall shows I know he was because John passed in the summer. John Meadows, God bless his soul. Samson, yeah, God, it's an amazing transformation, and I think Quinton is fully capable. Quinton has very, very similar potential. I think he could be, as big eventually with the right circumstances. We'll see. Forward to seeing Hassan. His latest pics like his waist is growing. If Akim comes in, it's just going to be all over. Let's take a look at him later. Yeah, let's take a look at Hassan because Hassan is someone who's always very impressive. He's been runner-up at this show. He was runner-up at the Vancouver Pro last year. He really wants this win. He wants to just – last year I think it took him 4 shows, 3 or 4, to qualify for the Olympia. I'm sure he doesn't want to do that many shows to qualify. I always go to the stories first to see if there's anything new and exciting. That's some gym posing right there. Yeah, I don't know how long ago that was. Well, he's at Pure Muscle and Fitness. So these have to be recent. He's up there in Toronto area. Burlington, Ontario is where that gym is located. The Hamilton Brothers place. Yeah, people have been saying he doesn't look like he's 100% dialed in. I tend to agree. Based on these, I'd want to see a couple more shots. Okay, here's a bigger screen version. Yeah, I mean, this close to the show, you should be posing in, if not trunks, take your shorts. Just go down to shorts so people can see the whole physique. Otherwise, people are going to think you're trying to hide something. So this was a couple days ago, too. He's close. To me, he doesn't look like he's peaking 100% for the Toronto Pro, which is outrageous. I'm sure nobody would go into a show intentionally holding back for another show unless they knew it was going to be an easy win and the second show was their real target. I don't think that's the case with Hassan. I think he's trying his best. With him, he seems to get tighter and tighter as the shows go on. That's a great picture, great graphic, sharpened to hell like I do for my pictures. This was last week. This is probably early last week. Things looking amazing right now. Getting rid of water one day at a time. Yeah, I mean he's definitely one of the favorites. Always been a fan of this guy. Very, very humble, very soft spoken, a family man. We don't get into politics here on my channel. So this is a nice picture. Shows a progression. 2022, 239 at one show. That looks like does that look like the Tampa show? Looks like the background. Or is it Yamamoto? I can't really read it in the background. I can't recall. Was that the Vancouver? I don't know what show it is. That looks like Vancouver in the middle. Looks like I'm reading Vancouver. 244. And 2023. Not sure which show that was, but he's 260 there, and he looks phenomenal at that. I like all these looks from him. He certainly doesn't look from the left picture to the right picture. It doesn't look to me like there's a 21-pound difference, but I guess so. I'm going to take him at his word. Yeah. So, wishing him the best. This was back in 2021. This was 3 years ago with New York Pro. You see there, his condition wasn't really where it needed to be. And that's the thing. Hassan's condition, he's sort of struggled to find that balance, like a lot of bodybuilders, between condition and fullness. Size and fullness are one of his strong points, of course. Structurally, he's at a slight disadvantage. He doesn't have the widest clavicles, so he needs to really dial in the condition and bring that mass nice and full, and everything's popping. Let's take a look at John Jewett, though, shall we? So John, second place at Legion last year. I got to get out of this. Who was he second place to at Legion last year? Jog my memory, guys. Was it Tonio? Or did Tonio win the year before? I can't quite remember. All right, here's his meals. Everyone likes to put their meals up. Okay, so this is very recent. This is 20 hours ago. 230. Wow. So a guy who was competing at 212 very recently was fourth place at the 212 Olympia a couple years back. Here he is in the 230s. So I imagine he's going to hit the stage somewhere between 225 and 230. And he's dialed in. I mean, he is a very well-known coach. He's got that J3 University. So I would expect to see this guy. Oh, this is just an hour ago. This is very recent. So here he is at about, 48 hours or so from when he's going to hit the stage. Because this is Friday. This is Toronto Pro is not a Saturday show. It's a Sunday show. Looking great, though. Looking great, John. Yeah, I mean, there we go. July 2. So less than a year difference there. 212. I got to show that again. That was pretty damn impressive. Less than a year apart there. And 212 versus 232 right now. Full and popping. Yeah, he's looking great. So here's 2 days out from Toronto, another posing video. If I'm going to be that super critical guy, only thing I'd really want to see him work on is a little more upper chest thickness. Lower chest is nice and full. But look at that condition. Look at that grainy, dry condition. Nice separation between everything. And I'm sure he's going to come in peaked perfectly because this is a very intelligent man. Not to take away from the intelligence of the other guys, But John is a thinking man's bodybuilder. If you follow him on Instagram or anything like that, he really knows how to break it down. Very intelligent people have that gift of being able to break down complex theories and bits of information into a way that the rest of us knuckleheads can understand. And I'm not a genius, so I appreciate that. I appreciate when the real geniuses out there, when it comes to PEDs, nutrition, training, can break it down into common day parlance that the average human being can understand very well. John looking phenomenal, though. Big fan of John. This is an older picture. This was a couple years ago. But look at that condition that he comes in. There he is with his wife, Renee, wellness pro. But look at that. You're going to say, well, it's filtered, but you have to have all that detail to be able to sharpen in the first place. Look at the graininess. I mean, this reminds me of Dorian Yates, this condition that he was showing there. Very, very impressed. What else we got, guys? I'm going to leave this posing on while I get to your comments there. I want to look at Budesheim, too. I'm having trouble with my mouse. Doggone it. There we go. It's my understanding John Jewett is in the 230s. Yeah, very late. I think he'll play second behind Akim. I thought Quint was bigger in the past. Quint looks bigger in the off season, so I don't know if it's an issue with him that he over diets, or he's one of those guys who just really flattens out and loses muscle as he gets in shape. I mean, that's something that happens to natural guys commonly, and I'm not saying he's natural or that he's using tiny amounts. I don't know what he uses or doesn't use. I have no idea. But he does seem to be bigger and fuller in the off season. And once it comes time to the stage, we don't really see that fullness anymore. And Mir is not in the show. But, Dave, let me show you another guy from Europe, Germany, Tim Budesheim, because Tim is looking amazing. Tim ended up in 7th place at the New York Pro. But, man, he brought a very impressive package. These are physique shots. I'm looking for updates. All right, so this was yesterday. Nice condition. Tim has put on a lot. Look at that. Tim's put on a lot of size. Here he was at New York Pro. I thought he looked great. I thought he looked phenomenal. You know, Giles thought he could have been tighter, and we did the preview and looked at some more recent updates from him at that point. When we did Power Hour, Giles Thomas and I, and he was tighter. He was tightening up because, you know, it's great to be he's not going to outmass somebody like a Hassan or an Akim anyway. So why not play to your strengths and condition? I mean, John Jewett's not going to be the biggest guy up there, but condition, he might be the most conditioned guy out there. I wouldn't be surprised if he was. Tim Budesheim there is with Antoine. Tim is looking fantastic. I would not count this guy out for a minute. There's another shot, him with Antoine. Looks like some posing stuff. Yeah, look at that. Tremendous front lat spread. Great quad development. Nice sweep. Waist is nice and tapered in that shot. Stripy delts, as Giles likes to say. Yeah, he's a very thick, dense guy. You know, I guess in a dream world, his waist could be a little narrower, but you know what? Nobody's perfect. There's no bodybuilder out there that you couldn't pick apart and find at least one little flaw. He looks great. There he is with Martin the Martian Fitzwater and Brett Wilkin. Raw Nutrition Athletic Club. That was Florida, I'm guessing. Yeah. He's been on tour. I don't know if he even went back to Germany after the New York Pro. I think he might have been stateside here in the U.S. the whole time. Here he was at Ben Pekulski's MI40 gym with Rachel Daniels, women's physique pro and wellness. She's a wellness, and she's very well renowned as a posing coach. And I think that's Kamal, right? Kamal Elgarni. I think that's Kamal. It's hard to tell with that beard. Oh, it says it right there. Yeah, Kamal Elgarni. The real Lois Lane. That's Rachel's Instagram handle. So Tim's going to be a factor. Do not write Tim off for a minute, guys. Could he beat there's Kamal pointing out the detail. Could he beat Akim, John Jewett, Hassan, Quinton? Who knows? I've seen stranger things happen, guys. I've seen guys who nobody was really worried about, wasn't on anybody's radar, come in and just do damage. I'd love to see this guy win. I've talked to him a few times. Very cool guy. Speaks great English, which is great because I don't speak any German. Barely speak English, as you can see. It's Tim Budesheim looking fantastic. You know who I wanted to look at, and I haven't even looked at an update, was Ricardo Correa, because when I did that preview, rude boy, yeah, there we go. When I did that preview with Giles a few days ago, the 212, the list wasn't out. I was just going off people I knew were in the show. So he's been off stage for 4 years, I want to say, more, 5 years. Yeah, Ricardo Correa from Brazil. So he's been out of action. I think he's been focusing on business ventures, other things, coaching, whatever. But, man, he was very good. He won some shows. He was, I know he was top 10 in the Olympia. I can't recall where he placed. Giles could tell you exactly. I'm looking for some posing updates. That's really not it. But he could do it. He could win this. He was on the poster. Or did he put himself on the poster? I'm really not sure. One or the other. Yeah, I'm looking for some real posing updates because I don't expect him to not look as great as he did, but sometimes guys come back. You never know. When you haven't seen somebody in years, like in this case, it's been 4 or 5 years, you wonder, how's he going to look? Yeah, he's always in shape from what I recall. Great physique. I also saw in the Classic, I saw one name that really stood out to me that wasn't because we didn't go over Classic at all, but this guy, I know he's very, very good. This is German pastor from, I think he's from Spain. So Herman would be the correct pronunciation. I believe he's from Spain. Yeah, it's a terrible time for my mouse to be acting up on me. Okay. So this was, what show was this? Deutsch. Not really sure what show this was. But this is he's a top class physique guy over near Europe. I believe from Spain. He's won some shows. Yeah, I mean, I don't have the full list in front of me, the Classic guys, but he's got to be one of the favorites. Tremendous physique on this guy. Let's see what else he's got for us here. My mouse is acting up on me. Is it California Pro? That must have been last year. One more look at him. Oh, that's one of the sponsors. Yeah, look at him. German pastor, great classic physique. You look at a guy with that much size and you wonder, how did he make the weight? Condition wasn't 100%. This might have been a guest posing. I'm not really sure. I say that because I know I've seen him a little sharper than this. Okay. All right. Stop the screen and get some of your comments. A lot of people said Tim was overlooked at the Cal. Yeah, he was out of the top 5. I can't recall where he placed, but you can't overlook somebody if they keep getting better and better. And I think that's Tim's game plan. I think he's trying to get just so good that they can't deny him. And that's all you can do as a bodybuilder. You can't control what the judges like or don't like. You can't control who else shows up and what they look like. All you can do is get better and better. And, hopefully it's your day one day. Mark says, I love Quint's physique, but coming in full is most likely not going to cut it. It needs a lot more muscle. I agree. I actually did an interview this morning, early this afternoon, with Milo Sarshev. And there's been no discussion between the two working together. So I'm not starting a rumor like that at all. But I told Milos I personally think they would be a good match as far as a coach and client, because we all saw what Milos was able to do with Samson as far as putting quality muscle mass on him over the past few years. He put on something like 25 pounds of muscle. It was between 20 and 30, somewhere in that range. And that is a lot of muscle tissue to put on a guy who's already been competing as a pro for a few years at that point. Quint has been competing as a pro for a few years now. He has been making progress. He has been getting bigger, but he still needs more. He just needs more. There's no two ways about it. You can't sugarcoat the issue. He's got to be bigger if he wants to be beating this guys. I really want to see more back on him. I want that rear lat spread to look like maybe Tony O'Burton's. A little bit much to ask for, but real thick, dense, beefy back when he hits that lat spread. I don't want to see anything flatten out. Why? Because you're going up against the best in the world. And, all these guys want to win the Olympia, so you can't have lagging body parts. You just have to be as flawless as you can be. Charles Griffin won last year. Thank you, Arsenal. I apologize to Charles because he's one of those guys that I forget about a lot. I don't know why. I mean, he's a great bodybuilder. I've seen him compete a few times. He sounds exactly like DMX, the late DMX, the rapper, when he talks. Excellent competitor. So yeah, thanks for that info. Okay, we're going to call this one. Okay, so Dave goes number 1, John Jewett, 2, Akim, 3, Tim, 4, Hassan. And else in the lineup we might have overlooked. There are other people, but I like to be realistic. And just because I like someone, I'm not going to say that they're going to bust into the top 4, top 5. Nate Spear, originally from Massachusetts. Originally from, might be from New Hampshire. A lot of these New Hampshire guys, if they're from like Nashua, the southern end of the state, I sort of consider them Massachusetts, even though they're not. He's down at the MI40 gym training now, down these days in Tampa anyway. Nate's really good. Robin Strand was 4th place last year. He's got a chance of getting up there. Andrea Presti from Italy would have definitely been someone who had the potential. And he was originally planning to do the show. He caught an intestinal virus, so he does not make the trip over here. He's got plenty of other shows. Empro's coming up. He's got Flex Weekend Pro right there in his own country, Italy, right after that. There's shows in Spain, Portugal. There's a ton of. He could even come over here and do Chicago or Tampa. Orlando doesn't have open men. We got all kinds of possibilities. But no, I don't think you overlooked anybody. It really just depends on who brings it. I mean, I don't think any of those guys that we mentioned, Hassan, John Jewett, Akim Williams, Quinton, Tim, I don't think any of them are like dominant where they just blow everyone else away. They're just at another level from everybody else. I think all these guys are at a similar level where they're all sort of, I don't know, top 5. They're all top 5 at any show other than the Olympia and the Arnold. They're capable of getting top 5, which means they're capable of winning under the right circumstances. Is that an Amazon truck outside? I can't tell. So, we'll see. The thing with Quinton is he is prepping himself. He doesn't have a coach for this show. If he knows his own body well enough and he knows what he needs to do to maintain condition, if he takes notes on everything and makes the proper adjustments with everything, carbs, sodium, water, avoid whatever flattened him out for New York. If he understands exactly why that happened and he's been able to remedy that in the space of just 2 weeks. Is that all these shows are? It's 2 weeks apart? Or is it 3 weeks? New York Pro is 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they're 3 weeks apart. So he said 3 weeks. Okay, so JP says Dorian is coaching him. So he's back to, you're talking about Dorian Hamilton, not Dorian Yates. So Dorian was his original coach. Dorian prepped him for that, the first few pro shows. I know he was coaching him for the Toronto Pro, the debut that he did. I believe he was still his coach when he took second over in that show 3 years ago. So that's good. I mean, Dorian knows his body. He knows him. They have a good rapport, local. So it's not like it's got to be done through FaceTime, stuff like that. So I hadn't heard the announcement, but thank you, JP, for giving us that bit of info. So Dorian Hamilton is coaching him. Dorian's very skilled as a coach. So was Matt Jansen. I would have liked to see, just out of my own personal curiosity, what Matt could have done with him the second time around 3 weeks later. I strongly suspect Matt, being as knowledgeable and skilled at coaching as he is, that he could have figured out a way to bring him in much fuller with the same condition, which that's what I expect to see. If he brings the same condition we saw in New York, but much more fullness, he's going to be a threat. John's no joke. John Jewett, Hassan, Akim, Budesheim, none of these guys are going to lay down. Even when he was flat, he beat Tim. So I don't know. Tim might have a hard time with him. We're going to find out very soon. Nice T-shirt. Thank you. Yeah, this is the Meathead Nation, which was Rudy. What's Rudy's last name? Rudy Leandri. They used to be the third. Used to be with Redcon. And this was sort of his sub-clothing line, the Meathead Nation clothing line. I like the Meathead word. To me, that's our M word, not the N word, the M word, which means we can call each other meatheads, and it's not derogatory because we're meatheads, just like African Americans can use the N word amongst themselves. It's okay, but if other people use it, it's an insult. It's not acceptable. So to me, and I'm really not trying to make any comparisons that it's the same thing. The bodybuilders are, racism. It's not like that, but it's just one of those things. Mayor Bodybuilding, Dan Dillon. I hope a guy wins the Olympia with no coach. Tired of taking the spotlight. Well, it's too late, Dan. He's already got a coach. He's working with Dorian Hamilton, who has coached him in the past. Dorian, the owner of HD Muscle, him and his brother, they co-own that gym, Pure Muscle and Fitness in Burlington, Ontario. John can beat an off Akim. Chris, you don't want that happen. Yeah, Raymond, I think Chris is really, Akim's been through a few coaches. I do think Chris might be his final choice and best choice. I say that because we saw him improve pretty dramatically at the Arnold Classic from Friday to Saturday. And then at the Arnold UK, he brought that same look that he had in the second day, the finals in Ohio. He brought that look to the UK show, the Arnold UK. So I think Chris and him are really figuring out his physique. Akim's always been one of those guys that you never really can feel. I've never been able to super confident with him bringing the conditioning, especially from the back. His back has always sort of been mushy looking to me. It's weird because there have been times where his glutes are striated, but his back is still like mushy, soft, watery looking. So I don't know. He does have development there. He could use some more development. He's got high lats, so there's not a ton of tissue to work with in that lower region. But I think Aceto's doing a great job with him. Why do guys need a coach? Says Dan. What exactly they provide? I mean, I really think the major value of a coach twofold in my humble opinion. The PEDs have become very, very complicated. Very complicated. There's such a wide range of things being used today between the insulin, the regular anabolic steroids, GH, fat burners, thyroid drugs. There's other things diuretics. There's other things I'm probably not even aware of because I don't coach these guys. I don't talk to them at that level. So that, and then put all the drugs aside for a minute. It's very hard for most people to be objective and look at themselves the last week or two, and especially the last few days before a show, and see things as they really are. They're either going to see themselves as in better condition than they really are or worse condition, and they'll talk themselves into doing disastrous things or things that can have disastrous consequences. Like they may feel like they're not in condition when they are, and if this is without a coach, they might decide I'm going to go no carbs. I'm going to do 3 hours of cardio a day, stair mill, step mill, whatever. And there's no one there to stop them, and they show up super flat and depleted looking. Or you see it go the other extreme where somebody feels like, well, I'm in shape. I'm not worried about my condition, but I'm super flat. I'm going to bump up. I'm going to eat a bunch of shit food. I'm going to shitload. I'm going to have burgers and fries 4 times a day the last few days before the show. I'm going to eat whatever I want, donuts. I'm going to stuff my face. And they show up looking like a water buffalo. And the junk food has really blown out their gut because their stomach has been sensitive. It's been eating clean diet food for months, and now you're going to throw all this junk food at it. So a coach can sort of put the brakes on all that crazy things that somebody might do without someone to stop them. So I think they do have a strong value. Must have seen Ron. What do you think of Battle for Olympia that was just released by Olympia TV between Nick, Derek, and Samson? I've only seen bits and pieces with it, but I think it's exciting to have, potentially top 3 Olympia guys. I mean, we know Derek's the champion. We could have Samson and Nick as 2 and 3, or 3 and 2, or no particular order. I think Hadi Chupan is going to be up there too, but it's harder for Hadi to just go fly wherever he wants to. I'm sure they wanted Hadi in that video too. They wanted him, but it's not easy for him to get in and out of Iran over to the USA. But yeah, it's cool that they brought those 3 guys together for shit talking and working out together. Great idea on their part. Do you have Quint beating Robin Strand? Yeah, I would say so. And I like Robin. I like when I say this, it's never personal. It's not like I don't like this guy. It's never like that. Yeah, I think he's just got better flow to his physique, better structure and shape. It's just a more pleasing physique. as long as he doesn't blow it. If he shows up out of shape and Robin's in shape, yeah, all bets are off. This guy did all the Battle for the Olympia videos. Those rock. So Paul Bartlett looking great right now in his own right. He's getting ready for Universe. I think he's doing Universe Masters. So the original videographer was a guy from Japan named Mitsuru Kabe. Mitsuru used to do everybody's videos. He did all those Ronnie Coleman videos that I hope you know and love. He used to do videos for you name a pro. Aside from Dorian, all the famous training videos you've ever saw, Mitsuru Kabe probably shot all of them, if not all of them, most of them. So he shot all those and did a fantastic job. And he would travel all around the country and over to Europe doing those Battle for the Olympia videos, each guy getting ready for the Olympia. And it was a lot of work. Mitsuru was a very hard-working guy. I don't know what he's up to. Japanese fella, yeah. Mitsuru Kabe. I love Mitsuru. He was one of the first guys I met when I started working the business out in 91. I think I met him at the very first pro show I ever went to, which was the 91 Ironman Pro Ironman Invitation, won by JJ Marsh. He was there in the press pit, photographer. He was taking photos, and he was doing video. He had like a little tape recorder with a microphone, because he would take pictures and then he would interview the guys. And he would write them up, and he would do a lot of coverage for the Japanese magazines. There was no internet yet. This was all print magazines. So he was a cool dude, Mitsuru. I miss him. Yeah, because she's been back in Japan for years now. I think he left the USA like 15 years ago. I hope Hassan doesn't show up like his pictures. There were no lines in his quads. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, but I don't have high hopes. Put it that way. I don't have high hopes that he's going to suddenly pull it together that quickly. But, I like him a lot. I'm rooting for him. I like his physique. He's a cool guy, family man. So, yeah, let's hope he pulls it together. Okay, well, as I say, this is Dave. Let's say there's not a gaunt cheekbone in sight. Back in Dorian's day, top 10 they were very gaunt today's insulin causing bloated faces. Yeah, you don't see too many sucked up looking Skeletor faces anymore. That's for sure. It's weird because you do see some great condition, but even then, a lot of times the faces aren't caved in. Couldn't say why that is. I don't know if I want to blame it all on insulin. Maybe. David Ortiz, what did Tarek mean by everything you guys have done for me to the Judge Tarek? I didn't watch the whole video, I'll be honest with you, but maybe he means, providing a platform for him to compete, doing stuff like that, having the organization. That's typically when they thank Jim Mannion or anybody. It's for that. It's for all the work that they put in to promote the sport and to, have the sport for us. Yeah, Muscle Machine. I'm rooting for Hassan. I've seen guys pull their shit together pretty fast, but I've also seen a lot of cases where if somebody didn't look great 3 or 4 days out, that's exactly what you ended up seeing on stage. So we'll see. A lot can change in this body. If it's just water, you can get rid of water pretty fast. If it's just water under the skin, if it's body fat that he still needs to get rid of, you don't lose fat that quickly. Dan says, I think Nick should come in fuller, like when he took third at the Olympia. Yeah, he has finished fullness. Yeah, that's true. I think the best look he had was that third place Olympia in 2022. Yeah, I mean, when you don't have the best structure and shape, play to your strengths. His strengths are that freakish muscle mass. So coming in like more conditioned the way he did at the 2023 Arnold, I don't know. I think the 2022 Olympia version would have beat Samson with that 2023 Arnold. As great as Samson is, a fuller Nick with the same condition, because his condition wasn't that much greater when he sucks down. He's pretty conditioned when he's full too. Hottie fans looking for any excuse to believe the Olympia was rigged. I mean, that's any fan of any bodybuilder that loses the Olympia. So, yeah, they're not the only ones. I think Derek was reluctant to apply, but responded to Derek with kindness. I don't think Derek wanted to take his shirt off. Yeah, I mean, he's in pretty damn great condition for being. The Olympia is in October. So that's 5 months away. It's a long ways away. He's still got a little under 20 weeks, like 18 weeks out. He's got a long time to go. So, yeah, you're there to shoot. People want to see the physique. I would have been that jerk and said, take your shirt off too. I would have, because you get the cameras on. People don't care that you're not 100% contest condition. He's lean enough that he looks great with the shirt off now anyway. It's not, he's not that far off contest condition. It's not like he's fat. He's not. We already saw them pose in Pittsburgh. Yeah, that's true. But fans can't get enough. there's a constant need for content. So it's like you can never put out too much content, especially when you're talking top level Olympia guys. You can never have too much Derek, Hadi, Samson, Nick Walker, Andrew Jacked, Sam Solak. You can never have too much content with these guys because people want to consume. They're hungry for more. You just see a video like, what else you got? What else you got? Give Toronto top 5 in order. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go. John Jewett, Akim Williams, Hassan Mostafa, Quinton Eriya, Tim Budesheim. That's it. You can have your own. You can have your own top 5. That was mine. Best part was Derek and a friends being like, there's good lighting. Where's the best lighting? Yeah. I'm sure he was, a little self-conscious. He's not in contest shape. He's off season. He's in great condition for off season, but he is in the off season. This guy, geez, the line worse than Phil. I mean, if it was really bad, Steve would call him out and say, get back on the line. Steve doesn't take any bullshit. Totally in his own head. Congratulations on Olympia TV. Well, I'm not part of Olympia TV yet. I do hope that they bring me on. I would love to be a part of it. Believe me, I get to talk to all the Olympia guys every week. I would love to be part of it. I've been a panelist on it 3 times now. Comment on their videos. Tell me you want to see more Ron. It would help me out. Believe me, I'd love to be part of that organization. Who wouldn't want to work for the Olympia? I mean, it's the biggest show. Jake Wood, great guy to work for from everyone I've spoken to. Dan Solomon, the Olympia promoter, I've known him for years. Tarek, I've known for a while. I'd like it. Respectable top 5. Hassan's a dark horse. Yeah, Hassan's capable of winning it. Any one of those guys is capable of winning. So when I made that thumbnail, it wasn't like Quinton's not capable of winning. It's just I was going with the 3 guys in my head were most likely to win. Dubai Pro Show. Wow, Dubai Pro Show. Well, I think Dubai Pro is $100,000 for first place. So I think it's more than $350 total for all the prize money, all the divisions. But it is $100,000 first place, which is a lot more. That makes it the 3rd biggest prize after Olympia and Arnold. Olympia and Arnold Olympia was 300. I'm sorry, Olympia is 400. Arnold was 300. They're bringing it to 500 next year. Yeah, wow. Should be been around so long. I'll drop comments. Thank you. Yeah. If you guys want me on Olympia TV as much as I want to be on Olympia TV, drop some comments on their videos. Say we want Ron Harris. Thank you, Muscle Machine. Appreciate it. How many divisions? I haven't looked at Dubai Pro. I'll show you the website that I always go to. So you guys can. This is a great resource, just in case you're unaware of this website. It's ifbbpro.com. So this has all the current information. This is where you get the competitor lists are released. This is all the upcoming shows. Look at all these flyers. So when you go to the schedule, it's by division. And you can see on the left there's tabs you can navigate. So men's open bodybuilding, it has all the men's open bodybuilding shows. Then you pick. So those are all the contests with men. And then there's all the shows with 212 and classic, men's physique, wheelchair, so on and so forth. Dubai. So I guess I will go to the Dubai. Let me go to their website and see if that tells you. They don't have a 212? Oh, wait. I think I went too far. No, I did not. All right, so men's open. Dubai is, when is that? It's not after the Olympia. Where is it? It's on the schedule. What am I missing here? We know Dubai has a men's open show. Am I a dope and I went right past it? Italy, Portugal, Vancouver, Chicago. Okay, there's Dubai. Sorry. So Dubai, I don't know all the divisions. Yeah. Let's go back to the homepage. So yeah, ifbbpro.com, guys. Great resource. I need to go train my son. I need to take him to a back workout in a minute. Tickets on sale Monday, Ron. Hope your viewers get to go. Is that for Dubai? I mean, I don't know what show you're talking about. Doesn't matter. It affects total purse, obviously. Yeah, like the Olympia has the biggest total prize money of any show because they have all the divisions, whereas the Arnold Classic, they don't have they're going to have the biggest prize money next year, $500,000 for first place for an open show, but they still won't have as much total prize money as the Olympia or more than, because they got rid of women's physique, women's bodybuilding, women's figure, and one more. They got rid of like 4 divisions. They can do that. The Olympia has to have every division. Need to merge some of the women's division. Honestly, they've all blurred together anyway. I mean, physique, wellness, and figure, it's very, very blurry gray line between those divisions. Figure and physique, sometimes I see women that could do well in one division. I see like figure women that would do great in physique and vice versa. And wellness, I see some wellness women that would do great in one of those. So it's not as clearly defined as the men's divisions. You won't see too many like men's physique guys who would do well as like an open bodybuilder. And you won't see too many open bodybuilders that would do well in physique because they would be too big. So they're a little more. Olympia tickets are going on sale. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm going to take off because I want to train my son. His back is his toughest body part to grow, so he likes to have me put him through his back workouts. So I'm going to do that. I love having the privilege of being able to train my son. That was my dream when he was born, to be able to train him one day. And here we are. I'm able to do it. So through the grace of God. So guys, going to have some great stuff up this weekend on the channel. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to put out the Branch Warren interview. And Sunday, I'm going to put out my Milos Sarshev interview. We did address some of the Samson Dauda stuff to sort of clear the air on some things, the way he was thrown under the bus. He is a gentleman. He did not tear Samson a new one or anything like that. I'm not trying to start shit. But I did want him, once he and I had spoken off camera before we started recording, I said, people need to understand a few things that I don't think were really made public. And he's not going to go public and put all their personal stuff out there, but Milos is not the bad guy. He's not the terrible coach that some people were painting him to be. He's not. So tomorrow, Saturday, Branch Warren, Ron Line interview. Then Sunday, I'm going to put out Milos Sarshev. Monday, we'll be back with Ask Dr. Testosterone with Dr. Tuliato. So have a great weekend. Enjoy the Toronto Pro stream. It's on Toe Pro Super Show. That is happening Sunday. Toe Pro Super Show is their website. So that's it, guys. I appreciate you all watching so much. Have an awesome weekend. Take care of yourselves. Get some great workouts. Do all that. Peace out. Later, guys.